A little while ago, we bought a Tesla Model X, and today I'm going to be talking about why we got it. So if you've been subscribed for a while, you've probably seen some of the videos that I've made for the past motorcycles that I bought. I did it for my R1, I did it for my WR, I did it for the CRF, I did it for the Ruckus, I did it for the R6. All the bikes that I've gotten, I've made videos like this for why I got what I got. And I thought it might be interesting to do the same thing for the Tesla that we just got, to kind of give you guys an idea of, you know, what went through our heads, what we were looking for, and why we ended up getting the car. So I've been a huge fan of Tesla for a long time. I've wanted a Tesla since they had just the Roadster. I remember the first time that I saw one of the original Roadsters on the road. I've always been a huge Lotus fan, and that's what the original Roadster was based on. So when I saw that car, I knew that I had to have that car eventually in my life. Fast forward to today, and the Tesla Model X is the third car that Tesla's released. First the Roadster, then the Model S, then the Model X that we're driving now, and now they have the Model 3. Now, just to give you guys a little bit of a background, before we bought this car, I had a Jeep Wrangler that I had lifted and modded out all for off-roading, and my wife had a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and we sold both of those cars before buying this. And it wasn't necessarily selling both of those so that we could afford buying this. This is something that we've been wanting for a long time, probably working towards for the past year or so. But the reason that we sold the other two was this year we plan on moving, and before moving we kind of wanted to downsize to one car just to make it easier to move. The Jeep, I wasn't driving as much as I would like to. I didn't like daily driving it. And when I say the Jeep, I'm talking about the Wrangler. And we live about 45 minutes from an off-road park. But going into the decision of moving this year, we don't really know how close we're gonna be to an off-road park. So it just made sense to sell it now before moving. Down the road, eventually, if I want to get another off-road rig, then I can do that wherever we end up moving. But those are the things that went into the decision of selling both of those vehicles before getting this one. But why did we get a Tesla Model X? So like I said, we've been wanting a Tesla for a long time, and there's a lot of reasons that go into it. But just being a part of what I think is going to be the future of vehicles is something that I've been wanting to do. And I'll preface this, electric cars aren't perfect. Self-driving cars aren't perfect. Not to say that Tesla is fully self-driving, but the autopilot type features are not perfect. But they've gotten to a point now that for us, it's a very realistic vehicle to own. You know, we don't drive a whole ton. We both work from home, so a lot of the driving that we do is just going to get groceries, going to the gym. Occasionally we do longer trips out to like Houston or San Antonio to visit family, but there's not a ton of that. But there's a lot of little things that have gone into wanting a Tesla, and sure, little things don't justify buying a car this expensive, but when you add up a lot of the nice to haves, you end up having a car that's really nice to have. Autopilot, definitely a very nice to have. In fact, this video up until this point has been driven exclusively on autopilot. You can see right now the autopilot is enabled, and you can see the car in front of us on the dash. You can see the car staying in the lane. It's not perfect, like I mentioned. Complete self-driving isn't here, but I love being on the cutting edge of stuff, and I like supporting companies that are pushing the edge and really trying to make that happen. And Tesla is definitely one of those companies trying to make that future happen, and we really want to support that. So back in August, Abby is my wife, we went and did a test drive of the Model X. And I think they do this at all of them, but they do a P100D for their test drive. We didn't end up getting the P100D, we just got the 100D. So in the range of the models, they have the 75D, they have the 100D, and then they have the P100D. And the 75 and the 100 just determines the battery size. The D stands for dual motor, and then the P100D is P for performance, so that one has the fastest acceleration. That's pretty much the only difference between the P100D and the 100D. Now, before that test drive, I was the biggest fan of getting a Tesla. Abby liked them and she wanted to get one, but wasn't really like gung-ho about getting one. After that test drive, I think she wanted to get the Tesla more than I did. I absolutely loved it, but she was even more in love with it than I expected her to be. And there's a few different reasons for that. One, she really, really liked how they looked. Don't get me wrong, the Model X is a love it or hate it kind of thing. Some people love how they look, some people hate how they look, some people think they look like minivans. I get it, I understand it. I like the look. I had the same reaction when I first saw the Porsche Panamera. I thought that thing was god-awful ugly, but after a while seeing it in person, I actually really like how they look now. Same thing with this. When I first saw the Model X, wasn't a fan. Now, I love it. It's got a booty. It definitely has a booty on there. But that was just one of the things. Looks fine. The Falcon wing doors, no lie, were one of the, oh, look at that. Look at the Roadrunners running across the street. I don't think you can see them. The Falcon wing doors, again, some people think they're a gimmick. I assure you, these things are spectacular. I know some of the earlier models, when they first released the Model X, had some issues, whether it be squeaking, whether it be gaps in the body panels, whether it be problems with the motors. From what I understand, all those things have been fixed, and that's actually one of the cool things that I love about Tesla. They don't operate like a normal manufacturer. So for a regular manufacturer, they have their model years, and every year they collect all of the changes that they want to make, and then in that next year, they come out with all of those changes. It's different with Tesla. Their engineers and their production all happen in the same place, at least a lot of it does. And when there's a change they want to make, they roll out that change. Goes right to the production line, and they start putting that change into practice. So when you're comparing a 2016 to a 2017 Model X, it's not really the same comparison that you would be making for another manufacturer. To actually see what kind of model year your car might be, you would actually have to know the exact date of the manufacturer. So this is a December 2017 Model X, and we got the white interior. We absolutely love it. And speaking of the seats, that was another cool thing. So Abby and I, 99% of the time, are vegan. We don't eat any meat, and most of the time we don't have any dairy either. Abby's car had regular real leather, but Tesla, even now, none of their line, they used to, but I'm pretty sure none of the seats that they have now are real leather. I think all of them are synthetic, and it looks real, it feels real. It's really, really nice. I love it. It's supposedly a lot easier to clean. It lasts a lot longer. Even with the white seats, after a long period of time, they don't get dirty. Before getting it, we watched a ton of videos about the white interior to see if they stay clean for a long time or if they start looking really nasty. They stay clean. I don't know how, but they stay clean. Let me show you something real quick. So with these doors, like I said, that was a huge selling point. We just had our first baby. Getting a car seat into a regular car is a lot more of an issue, especially if you're parked in a parking lot and you have to open a door, you're like coming from the front of the car. It sounds like a first world problem. It is, but with these doors, it makes it so much easier to put a car seat in. So you open the doors, they go up. It doesn't matter if you're coming from the front or you're coming from the rear. You put the car seat in and you're good to go. Also, look at this. I mean, I'm 6'2", so it's not a great example, but I can stand inside the car and just barely touch the top. It's pretty nice. For all the problems that people have had, whether it be with the squeaking, the body panel gaps, the motor's not working properly, I don't know, whatever it is, we haven't had a single issue. No issues with the Falcon wing doors. Love them. Absolutely great. All the sensors work great. So like if you're in a parking space, whether you're in a parking garage, it senses everything and it opens as much as it can, and it doesn't open more than that. So it's not hitting cars, it's not hitting ceilings. Works really well. Now the remote, I wouldn't say that it's necessarily like a specific selling feature. So here's the key fob. It looks like the car. Just double tap on any of the things that you want to open. If I want to open the rear, just double tap that and it starts opening. If I want to open one of the Falcon wing doors, double click on it, opens right up. You can't open the front doors with this. Not sure why, but you can't open the front doors with it. There's no start button. There's no key, like an actual key to get in. I'm not sure if there's another car that does this. I know that a lot of luxury cars have been doing it for a long time where you don't need to, even cheap cars now, you don't need to like unlock a door or click a button to unlock the car when you approach it. But the cool thing about the Tesla, I got the key fob in my pocket, we'll approach the car, the door will automatically open. Again, just a nice to have. First world problem. What? You can't click the handle and open the door yourself? It's nice. If you're carrying things, don't have to worry about it. It automatically opens. Approach the car and door opens. I can get in. And the other thing, I just put my foot on the brake pedal. Door shuts itself. Again, a nice to have. First world problem, closing your own door. But the little things, they add up. And when you're paying this much for a car, it should have a lot of little nice to have. Speaking of nice to haves, the screen. This is the best screen that I have ever used in a car. It's not slow. It's really nice. You can move things around. You can always have the backup camera. So the rear view mirror, not gonna lie, it's pretty small. The back, not great visibility. But the backup camera basically solves all of that because it's incredibly wide angle and you can have it on all the time. So I basically use the camera instead of the rear view mirror because you can see so much more behind you, including almost next to you. Got some great music playing. Put the camera there, I can put the navigation there. If I want to switch them around, I can do that. Now it's a little bit different than the Model 3 that they just released because the Model 3 doesn't have any buttons in the car and everything is just on one screen in the center. I like this a lot more. You have your screen over here, shows everything right there, shows your car, shows the lanes if you have them, and then you have all the other controls here on the screen in the center. But the screen was definitely another major selling point. The other big thing about the car is how smooth it rides. So of course it's an electric car. It's gonna be a lot quieter than your typical combustion engine car. But because you don't have those moving parts in the engine, it also makes it a lot smoother too. I have never driven another car as smooth as this one. It's got a panoramic, well, not, I don't know what you even called this, but the windscreen goes all the way above the driver's head. It just feels like a freaking spaceship with how much visibility you have towards the front and the sides because of all the window space. I couldn't point to one single thing that made us want to get this car. It's just everything else added up that makes it such a cool car to have. And it is, it's an awesome car, but it just fits with the kind of company that we wanted to support. That makes us fanboys. It makes us fanboys. Can't help it. We like Tesla. Jake from Vsauce 3 actually just put out a video on Beam News making a response to another video that Beam News made that really kind of goes over a lot of the things that he loves about Tesla and reasons to get a Tesla and reasons why they might be good or bad for people, and it covers a lot of the thoughts that we have. So I'll link that video down below if you want to check that out, but they did a really good job. By the way, you get into the car, like I said, no button to press. It's already on. You just put in a gear and you're ready to go. I think the last main thing that I would mention is that there wasn't really another car that we were looking at. It was either getting this car or keeping the Jeep Grand Cherokee that we had, because we wanted an electric car and there's nothing else that does it as well as the Tesla does. It's not like we were looking for a specific luxury vehicle and so we were looking at other luxury SUVs. This was the car that fit the bill for everything that we wanted in our next car. Electric, built by a company that we think is doing great things, supporting the development of the future of cars that can self-drive, and just having a car that's freaking awesome to have. Oh, and two things with the timing of getting this car. At the time that we bought it, we were probably, maybe wanting to get the car within the next 6 months. And there's a reason that we got it in December of 2017. The tax bill that was going through at the time, or voting on at the time, did not include the tax benefit for electric cars. So if we were to take delivery of the car in 2018, we wouldn't get the $7,500 tax credit that you get when you buy an electric car. Now that's changed. That tax credit got put back into the bill that was eventually passed, but at the time it looked like it was gonna get taken out. The other thing is that right now there is free supercharging if you use a referral code. By the way, I'll have my referral code down in the description. That's ending at the end of January, and maybe they'll bring it back. Maybe they'll replace it with something just as good. But right now you can get free supercharging when using a referral code and getting a new Tesla. So for the life of the vehicle, we can charge at superchargers for free. Don't have to pay for it. And that was, a big selling point for whenever we go on trips or anything like that, to be able to have that for the entire time we own this car. So those were a couple of things that went into the timing of getting it at the end of December in 2017 versus waiting a few months to get it later. So that's that. I have no idea if I've even remotely covered in a good way why we wanted to get this car and why we got it, but those are a lot of the stuff that come to the forefront of my mind when I think about why we got it. We've had the car nearly a month now, so I'll probably make a video in a month or two once we've spent even more time with it, maybe gone on a trip or two with it, and kind of give my top 5, top 10 favorite features of the car. I know you guys enjoyed the first couple videos I made with it, so If there's anything that you guys want to know, any questions that you have, or any things that you want to see in videos, leave a comment down below. Let me know, and maybe I'll make them. Otherwise, that is why we got a Tesla. I'm Motonosity. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, share it with a friend that might be looking at Teslas. Make sure you check out our referral code if you're planning on putting in an order for one. And other than that, I hope you guys have a great one. I'm Motonosity. Hit that subscribe button. Remember, life's better with horsepower. Even if it's electric horsepower, keep life lived, and I will see you guys tomorrow.